We are now in section 2, the value streams and processes dimension of the continual improvement practice. This is also a longer section, just like section 1 on the key concepts, wherein we had 5 questions to appear in the exam, and here as well, 5 questions in the exam out of the 20 questions. But in this case, the questions will not be just the Bloom's level 2, they will be a mix of level 2 and level 3. The process questions in particular will be at Bloom's level 2, understanding level that is, and the value stream questions will be at Bloom's level 3, the application questions. It is not clearly known from the syllabus or not mentioned in the syllabus as to how many would be the process questions and how many the value stream questions. But generally, it will be a mix or a balanced mix of both. So for the exam, we need to understand the processes, particularly the inputs, outputs, and the key activities and their details for each of the processes. And also understand the value stream concept, and in particular, how the continual improvement practice contributes to the value streams of the organization. There are 2 processes in this practice. One, it is the approach, and the second, the actual improvement initiatives to be managed. So once again, the first process is managing a common approach to continual improvement, and the second one is managing continual improvement initiatives. These are very much similar to the 2 practice success factors. One of the practice success factors was to establish and maintain the approach for improvement, and the other one was the ensuring efficient improvement initiatives. We look at the first one, which is managing a common approach to continual improvement. This process is particularly focused on ensuring that the organization adopts a common approach to continual improvement, which means that the key outcome of this set of activities in this process is to ensure that the continual improvement practice becomes an organizational norm. And therefore, this is likely to involve the adoption of various agile behaviors, concepts, and techniques, meaning an iterative way of working, as we noted earlier in the section 1 key concepts, would be generally recommended because it's better to have a larger improvement or a complex improvement broken down into iterative steps. This is a table of the inputs, activities, and key outputs of this first process related to the common approach to this practice. If you look at the middle column, we have 5 activities in this process. These are in sequence from the top to the bottom. And there are some inputs and outputs. Let us look at the inputs first. In order to create a common approach to improvement, it is important to understand the organization's strategy and plans, the policies and external compliance requirements, organization structure, the operating model of the company, and the value streams that they operate, lessons from previous improvement initiatives, and also an understanding of the continual improvement frameworks such as ITIL, Lean, Agile, DevOps, CMMI, Six Sigma, COBIT, etc. These are not only continual improvement frameworks, but various methods, standards, and bodies of knowledge. In terms of outputs, they would be the following: the cultural and organization analysis based on the strategies, plans, policies, external compliance requirements, etc. And also, then the main thing here is the continual improvement approach and the creation of the continual improvement register, one or more of them. And then the communications about the improvement, including the status, achievements, and lessons learned, and the continual improvement review reports. So these are not for individual improvements, but these 2 outputs, the improvement communications and the improvement review reports, these are for a collection of improvements, which are outcomes of a review of the improvement practice and the ideas to modify them, improve the approach, and implement them in a better way. Let us have a better understanding by first looking at the workflow, and then understanding each step in the workflow in the subsequent slides. The diagrams use the BPMN notation, the business process management notation. You don't have to be familiar with it. Most important thing for the exam is you need to understand the various activities in a process and their sequence, and also what happens in each of these activities within each process. And as noted earlier in the previous table, the first step is to analyze the organization's requirements, culture, strategy, and stakeholders. The output of that would be, in the first step, is the analysis of the culture and the organization. The second step would be to identify relevant and valuable improvement models and methods. The third step is to define and agree the continual improvement approach, and also establish the continual improvement register. And the next is to communicate and integrate this improvement approach into the organization, which means it will be communicated to all concerned employees and stakeholders, and also the status of this improvement approach and other achievements and lessons learned through various improvements that have happened so far, not just individual instances of improvements, because we have a separate process to deal with individual improvement initiatives. Then lastly, we have the review of the continual improvement approach, and that will result in the review report of the practice. And if this review yields that the improvement approach needs to be updated, it will go back to the first step to once again look at the whole thing and make improvements to the current practice approach.